Hi, my name's Nick Godfrey, and I'm an employee benefit specialist located here in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. I've been working in this area for quite a number of years. I work with small businesses, helping design and implement employee benefit plans for the purpose of attracting and retaining new employees. I would say I deal mostly with small businesses. And what I mean by small businesses in Canada here, small businesses really from one employee, one person, one business owner, right up to 100 employees. We also offer HR solutions to larger companies with my partner, Mehdi Rahman, a 25-year HR specialist. But today, what we're going to talk about is plans for one person, a one person business here in Canada. And really, what's so nice about being a business owner here in Canada is that there's some really good tax advantages, lots of good things to write off. And certainly, one of the things you can write off as a business owner here in Canada, whether you're a sole proprietor or you're an incorporated business with one employee, that being yourself, is that you can take all these health and dental expenses and make them a business expense if it's set up properly. And the way to do that is to engage with a third party. And that third party might be an insurance company. And it might be what we call a third party administrator, somebody who's going to help you adjudicate the claims, which is a big word that says, are these legitimate claims? And if in fact they are then tax deductible to your business. And then you're able to write off all these expenses that are costs not covered by your government plan. Here in Ontario, it's OHIP, the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, and it's different in various provinces. But the big key to it is to be able to take all these out of pocket expenses and make them a business expense. Now, don't get me wrong, you can claim your personal expenses on your personal income tax return, but it's not very tax effective. You need to incur like at least $2,400 in claims before you even start to receive any tax relief. Whereas if you start to write it off through your business, you can get tax relief from dollar one. Really, there are three kinds of plans that people can get involved in here in Canada. The first one we see advertised on television all the time. We see it Green Shields, Manulife, Sun Life, all the various major insurance companies are offering plans to cover off your health and dental expenses. And for that, they charge a premium. And that premium is tax deductible to your business, and that's great. The issue with these plans offered by the insurance companies is that typically the various benefits are related to only health insurance and and dental expenses, and they're typically capped. So you will often see a drug cap of $3,000, $5,000, depending on the plan. And for dental, you might have a first year cap of $500 and might increase to $750 in the second year and $1,000 in the third year. Uh, and that's fine. But the way the insurance company, frankly, makes these work is that they do cap the benefits and they don't really cover the real risks of life out there. So it really is a difference between what a health and dental benefit is versus insurance. So in my world, because I'm a risk management guy, the idea of insurance is that you pay a little premium, but if something happens, you get a lot. Life insurance, you pay a small premium, somebody dies, you get hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have a critical illness, you pay a relatively small premium, but you end up with 50 or $100,000. So you pay a little, but you get a lot. What ends up happening with typically with health and dental benefits is that they're really things like, I call them nice to haves. It's nice to have your teeth cleaned. It's nice to have a filling done. It's nice to have a massage now and again. But these aren't the kinds of things that will change your life. A heart attack changes your life. Cancer changes your life. That's where you need real insurance. What we're talking about today really are just these health and dental benefits. And again, the three plans, the first one really is the ones offered by the insurance companies, and they're good. I have lots of clients who have them, and they work very well for them. They have a nice comprehensive little uh, list of benefits that they do offer, and they're good. The second option we see a lot out there are what are called healthcare spending accounts. So a healthcare spending account is set up with an incorporated business where a person says, gee whiz, I just want to have a notional amount of money that I can spend on all my health and dental expenses. There are no caps or limits in terms of what I can spend for these sorts of things. Like a good example is that if you have a dental plan through an insurance company and you need a crown or a bridge or something like that, it's simply not going to be covered. Whereas if you have a healthcare spending account, anything that's a legitimate health or dental expense in the eyes of CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, you can write off in your healthcare spending account. Now, it's not an unlimited account. You need to have certain parameters in there, but it's easy to, I've got several of them set up with, $10,000 limits to them, and people can write off all the expenses that they have on their personal health and dental, and turn those into a business expense. The real savings for an individual to set up these healthcare spending accounts is that rather than paying out of pocket, you're now using corporate dollars to pay for these expenses. So you can imagine, let's say I've got a $3,000 dental experience going on here. I might have to earn $4,000 or $5,000, pay my tax to net the $3,000. So if I set it up through my business as a healthcare spending account, I save all those personal income taxes. It's now a business expense. My business is going to pay for it. My business is going to write it off. There are administration fees because we have to set it up through a third party. There are some taxes, premium taxes, a little bit of HST. Well, we get to write all those off. And that's a really nice thing to have. So that's the second kind of a plan, a healthcare spending account. The third one is available to sole proprietors as well as incorporated businesses, and it's really set up again. We're really just talking about the one person business plan here. It's called the unlimited plan. We set it up on what's called an ASO basis. ASO just means administrative services only. So we set this up through a plan through a party called a third party administrator. And we create a budget for you as the business owner. And you will say, gee whiz, I'm going to spend $5,000 a year on my stuff, health, dental, whatever that might be. So we then build a budget, charge an administration fee and applicable taxes, divide that budget up by 12, and every month you pay that amount of money into your budget. If at the end of the year you've underspent your budget, there's money in your account. That's your money, and you can carry that forward the next year. If you've overspent your budget, we're going to do a reconciliation and say, hey, we budgeted $5,000 a year, but you spent $6,000, so we're going to increase your budget for next year. The thing that's really nice about these unlimited plans is that it's really designed for business owners who just say, I just want everything covered. I want 100% of all my legitimate health and dental expenses covered. I want to run them through the business. It's really just an efficient way from a tax perspective of paying for all these things. So that's what's really key about these things. So now the question is, what if I get really sick and I need insurance? Remember that pay a little, get a lot? Well, in a healthcare spending account and also in these unlimited plans, you can buy what's called catastrophic insurance coverage. And catastrophic insurance is high deductible, real insurance. So you pay, again, a small amount every month, but if something happens and you need $50,000 worth of prescription drugs, you're going to be covered. They're going to pay for them after you satisfy the deductible. And it's typically a high deductible plan. The one that I use quite a bit has a $7,500 deductible, but after you've satisfied the deductible and your business has written that off, the insurance kicks in and you get all of your drugs paid for as long as you need them. And it might sound crazy that people are spending $50,000 a year on prescription drugs, but they're out there. They're called biologics. I have several clients who need these drugs and they have this ongoing expense. So that's kind of how that works. So again, I'm just going to quickly recap. There's essentially 3 plans. There's one you can get through an insurance company. I can help you do that. That's what I do. The next one is a healthcare spending account. If you're an incorporated business, that's a great way to do it. And they work really well, particularly if you have a spouse, a partner who has a traditional plan through their place of work. And all you want is a place to run all those extra expenses that aren't covered by your spouse's plan. And you want to be able to write them off in your business. So that's where a healthcare spending account works really nicely because they're called second payer. So that's another place to work. And then the last one is the unlimited plan, the administrative services only plan, where we set up a budget for you and you get to write everything off, just everything. Write it off 100%, make it a business expense, save a whole bunch of personal income tax, and just be very efficient about what you're doing. I also recommend that people do buy the catastrophic insurance coverage so that in the event that they do get a major drug prescription bill, that the insurance will kick in and cover that off. Listen, I've covered a lot of, and I know it's it's a lot to take in. So in the notes, they're going to be my Calendly link, my email, my phone number, my website, all that sort of information. This is what I do every day. Feel free to give me a call, email me, just use the Calendly link and set up a meeting, and we can either have a Zoom call or a phone call, and we can talk more about this. But as a small business owner, you really need to be setting up your affairs properly so that you can write all these expenses off and make them tax deductible to your business and tax free to you. Oops, somebody's phoning me.